Welcome back, everybody. Today is a very special episode for the C10, making some progress. We are putting this thing back together and getting her fired up, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video and hit that like button and subscribe, and appreciate you guys for watching. Ready to mount our fuel system. So I got my Holly pump right here, my first fuel filter, and then my second fuel filter. So we're just gonna take these guys kind of in this setup and then mount them straight up on this frame right here. And eventually we're gonna get to our regulator right here where this 90's coming down. Gonna be my feed in line on the bottom. That's gonna be returned back to the tank. On the right is gonna be the feed to the fuel rails. I was looking at mounting it somewhere to the right of the booster, and then just another 90 on this right side, up and over, hopping over to my fuel rail. And I have a push connector, quick disconnect right here. It's a 90 right there, up and over the brake booster. So yeah, that's the game plan. And I am going to stock tank back here. Got a little barb fitting, and the barb fitting. All right, guys, got our fuel pump, 2 fuel filters in line. We're gonna have to make some pretty short hoses. Rod Durn right there. And then that guy will run up to the fuel pressure regulator. And that guy will run to the fuel tank. We'll have to get a return line going as well. Looks nice and clean, all under the driver's side door right here. And get started on our fuel lines. I got that fitting on there. I just kind of measured to right here to this guy. Measured a little bit long, and if I need to slide these guys in and out, I can do that on the filters. Just loosen up that bracket and slide them over. And just like that, guys, we have our first AN hose. Little short guy. It's probably gonna be a few of these shorties. AN hose is made up. Right here, I got this 45-degree AN fitting right there, and I attached the hose to it, crimped it in on there. Right now I'm running it to the back, so it's gonna run underneath that exhaust pipe, probably right along the side of the frame, and then we'll pop up over here where I'm gonna cut this, figure out my tank situation, but got the line marked right here, so just need to cut that guy and we'll keep moving forward. Got our fuel pressure regulator installed. I'm gonna take this guy, that's gonna be our inlet for our fuel, and I'm gonna tap into that other fuel filter right there. Got some parts painted. Got my alternator bracket and my power steering bracket all painted up, and I just got this in the mail. Just doing a little test fitting. It needs to be assembled, but it's gonna be my air intake. I think it's meant to go on a Silverado on the passenger side of the truck, but I think we're gonna try to put it on the driver's side. There's a little update on the motor. So we got our vacuum lines all replaced. We got some of our wires zip tied up so none of our pigtails get yanked out. Got our throttle cable hooked up to our pedal. Got our whole front drive assembly on. Power steering pump painted and hooked up, so the factory power steering lines just happened to fit perfectly to my steering box, so it worked out pretty good. Need to cap off this extra return that was for the Hydro Boost, which I'm not running. I'm running a vacuum booster regulator in our AN lines. So we got our fuel filter, got our Holley pump. Need to hang that return line up, and another fuel filter. And under here we got them heat wrapped because the exhaust is running right through here. So just wanted to give it a little bit more protection. There's a heat wrap on the exhaust too. Back here I have a barb fitting that I'm just gonna adapt for now. We're gonna tap into our return, replace all this hose. Just waiting on some parts to put our fuel pressure sensor for our Holley in. We'll get that guy installed so our Holley can read our fuel pressure. Fuel system is almost done. Pretty much a lot of wiring, and we'll be ready to fire it up. Got my little LS heater core bypass, just a little silicone Amazon bypass that goes right here and right here. I'm not running a heater core, so I don't need it. Alright, I have my radiator core set up on here just for some mock-up purposes. I'm gonna be cutting this battery tray out. It's all rusted and shit. And I'm also gonna test fit my air intake. Trying to go on the driver's side with this. If I can find a good spot, I'll possibly cut a hole in here for some airflow. Alright guys, we have the face of our radiator support painted. Got to flip her over and do the back side. Waiting for some paint. Got our battery tray made up and welded in. Threw a few holes in there for water drainage. Got this hole cut out right here where the air intake is going to sit right behind it. So that way we can pull in some fresh air and hopefully make a little more horsepower. But while I'm waiting for that to dry, we're going to hop into some wiring over here. So I'm gonna mount the fuse block in the glove box. So we're gonna cut this guy open, mount that. Going back to turnkey ignition instead of our push button ignition. Gonna be wiring that in. I need to order some electric fans, but we're gonna be running electric fans. Gotta wire in our fuel pump. I already got the glove box mounted. Little tray put in there. I'm gonna pull it back out, start wiring some stuff. Alright guys, got our fuel pressure sensor and the adapter 8AN to fit on our fuel rail. I'm probably gonna pull this guy off and probably put it right here, right after the 90. I just realized I can't take it off right here, so I'm gonna probably put it right here, right at my regulator, because this guy won't fit over here if I put it on the end right here. Slip that guy back on. right there. All right. Now our Holly can read our fuel pressure. Got our radiator support painted up. This is our new battery tray. Finished up a little bit more wiring. Now we're gonna hook her up again. Always fired up. Just got a wizard. Slowly press pedal to the floor.
Fired up when I'm fired up.
Okay. Alright guys, a little update on the C10. I did get this LS to start, but there is a fuel pressure issue. It was surging pretty bad, and I believe it is from those new injectors that I got, so probably gonna look into buying some new ones. I've just been working on some wiring, got my tack in, got this dash cam, which is gonna replace my stereo. I got 2 speakers that I put up under the dash, and then that little amp right there. It's a little speaker amp. Got those guys wired up and got my roll pan back on. I'm gonna be putting my tailgate back on in a second. Put in a backup camera. Things are starting to come together. The seat wrap. There's my backup camera, front DVR. I'm gonna pop this tailgate on right now. Just getting this body back together while we're waiting on some injectors. There's my rusty roll pan that I've been rusting to match my tailgate. So we'll put it together right now, see how it matches up. All right, so we had a little bit of storm damage on these inner fenders, but got them all body worked and ready for paint once again, as well as this hood. So we're gonna respray these guys, and hopefully that is the end of the painting. Fenders are on, inner fender winders are on. Oh, it looks great. Super orange. Looks very clean. Alright guys, got our injectors in. Our second new injector. So hopefully this one will work. My last ones lost their cap, so it wasn't making a good seal. So hopefully these guys are good. These guys are just dents. Got my front roll pan cleared up. Got the grill painted black. It was gray before. I think this black looks pretty sick, so we'll have to see it on the truck. Clear coated my rear roll pan, kind of match the tailgate. I have the tailgate down right now, but looks pretty good. I'm gonna get these injectors in right now and then get this front grill on. Got the fenders on, inner fenders, front grill, roll pan, rear roll pan. Got the grill painted black, looks sick as hell. I got the new injectors in, should be ready to go. I'm gonna check my fuel pressure again, and hopefully it's not jumping everywhere like it was before.